most people would have ignored an old truck sputtering on the side of a dusty country road. But not Emily Carter. She saw a stranger in trouble, and pulled over without a second thought. She didn't know his name. She didn't ask for money. She just got to work. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that her simple act of kindness would come back weeks later in a way that would change her entire life. And it all started with a wrench in her hand and a man whose world was quietly falling apart. Before we dive deeper into this unbelievable true style story, make sure you subscribe to True Story Tales, where we bring you real, emotional, and inspiring stories that remind us there's still a lot of good left in the world. Don't forget to like the video and comment below with your thoughts on today's story. Emily Carter lived on the edge of a small Midwestern town, a place where everyone waved but didn't always know each other's names. She was 32, a single mom, and the proud owner of a tiny but hardworking auto repair shop tucked behind her home. Business wasn't booming, but she made enough to keep the lights on, feed her son, and stay honest about the kind of life she wanted to live. Her talent with engines came from her father, who used to say, "Fixing things is easy. Fixing hearts takes time. But if you can do a little of both, you'll leave the world better than you found it." Emily never forgot that. It was a crisp Tuesday morning when she saw the old blue pickup pulled over near the railroad crossing. The hood was up. The hazard lights were blinking weakly. And beside it stood a man in his late 50s, hands on his hips, head bowed in frustration. Emily slowed her truck, debating whether to stop. She had errands to run. Parts to pick up. Bills stacking on the kitchen counter. But something nudged her, maybe her father's voice in the back of her mind, maybe just her own heart, and she pulled over. The man looked up, surprised, as she stepped out. "You all right?" she asked, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. He let out a sigh. "Not really. I think the fuel pump's done for. I was on my way to a job interview, though I guess that's not happening anymore." His voice cracked slightly, the kind of crack people try to hide. Emily peered under the hood. "Let me take a look." "You don't have to," he said politely. "I know," she replied. "But I want to." Within minutes she diagnosed the problem. A worn fuel pump, a clogged line, and a battery that was half dead. Nothing she couldn't fix. But it would take some tools and a couple of parts she had back at her shop. "Give me a ride to my place," she told him. "I have what you need." The man blinked, startled by her confidence. "You'd do that? For someone you don't know?" Emily smiled. "Someone once taught me that kindness isn't meant to be selective." They brought his truck to her shop, and Emily went to work. She jacked it up, replaced the pump, unclogged the line, and charged the battery. She moved with the focused rhythm of someone who knows exactly what they're doing, wiping sweat from her forehead and humming softly under her breath. The man watched from a few feet away, almost embarrassed, almost relieved. "What do I owe you?" he asked when she finished. Emily shook her head. "Nothing." His brow furrowed. "Come on, you spent almost 2 hours. You needed help," she said simply. "That's enough for me." He looked at her with a mixture of disbelief and gratitude. I don't know what to say. Just make it to that interview." He swallowed hard. "I'll try. My name's James, by the way. James Whitmore." "Good luck, James," she said, waving as he drove away. Emily didn't think about him again. She had customers to deal with, a son to pick up from school, and dinner to cook. Her days were full, and kindness wasn't something she offered for recognition. It was just who she was. But James couldn't forget her. For weeks afterward, he replayed that moment on the side of the road. Not just the repair itself, but the way she didn't judge him, didn't pry, didn't make him feel small. He had been struggling for months. After being laid off from his factory job, he'd sold tools, furniture, and almost everything he didn't absolutely need. The job interview that day had been his last shot. And thanks to Emily, he made it on time. But what Emily didn't know was that James wasn't just any unemployed worker. He was the former head engineer of a family-owned manufacturing company, one his daughter now managed and was desperately trying to save. The interview he attended wasn't for a job, it was to consult for his daughter's board. And because he arrived calm, on time, and no longer stranded, he helped them secure a crucial contract that kept the company alive. He never forgot who made that possible. 3 weeks later, Emily was tightening the bolts on a customer's Honda when she heard a deep rumbling outside, not the sound of a regular pickup, but something heavier. She wiped her hands on a towel and stepped into the sunlight. A massive flatbed truck was pulling into her yard. On it sat a brand new cherry red Ford service truck, gleaming like it had just rolled off the showroom floor. Emily blinked. What in the world? The driver hopped out, handed her a clipboard, and said, "Delivery for Emily Carter." "There must be a mistake," she insisted. "I didn't order anything." Before he could respond, another vehicle pulled in. A gray sedan. And out stepped James. Emily's jaw dropped. "James? What's going on?" He walked toward her slowly, a humble smile on his face. "I owe you more than you know." "You don't owe me anything," she said, confused. "Yes," he said softly, "I do." He explained everything, the interview, the company, the contract, the fact that her kindness helped save not just his job, but dozens of others. "You didn't just fix my truck," he told her. "You changed the direction of everything." Emily stared at the service truck on the flatbed. "James. I can't accept that." "You can," he said gently, "and you should. That little shop of yours deserves better equipment. Better tools. A truck like this will help you reach more customers, grow your business, and support your son. You gave without expecting anything. Let someone give back." Emily felt her eyes fill with tears. She had been struggling quietly for months, trying to keep her shop alive. Late nights. Unpaid bills. Doubt she hid even from her son. "How did you know I needed help?" she whispered. "I didn't," he said. "But kindness usually lands where it's most needed." They stood there for a long moment, the sun warm on their faces, the world quiet around them. Finally, Emily placed her hand on the new truck's door and let out a shaky laugh. "It's beautiful," she said. "It's yours," he replied. Emily didn't just get a truck that day. She gained a renewed sense of purpose, a reminder that the good you put into the world has a way of circling back even when you least expect it. She used the truck to expand her business. She fixed more cars, helped more people, and even started a small community fund to help stranded drivers who couldn't afford repairs. Her shop grew. Her son grew proud. And word of her kindness spread far beyond their little town. All because she chose to stop on a dusty road and help a stranger. Kindness doesn't always show its return right away. Sometimes it shows up weeks later, in the form of a flatbed truck and a miracle you never saw coming. But more often, it shows up in quiet ways: a smile, a thank you, a life touched in a moment of need. Emily didn't help James expecting anything. And James didn't repay her out of obligation. They each acted from the heart. That's the kind of kindness that changes the world, one small act at a time. So the next time you see someone struggling, don't look away. Don't assume someone else will help. You might be the quiet miracle they're praying for. Spread kindness. You never know what life-changing truck might pull up next.